Hey guys, my name is Scoby and welcome back to another video. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how to set up and install the emulator Azahar, which will allow you to play 3DS games directly on your PC in 2026. Let's jump right into this. So the first thing we need to do is open up our web browser, and we're going to be coming to this link. Links as always are in the description down below. And this is going to allow us to download the Azahar emulator. Once we're here, we're going to be coming to the top middle, clicking on the download option, and we're going to be clicking on this top link to download the Windows version here. While we have our web browser open, we're also going to be coming to this link, and we're going to be downloading 7-zip. We will need this to extract games a little bit later. Come here, click download, and download the latest version. Once all your files are downloaded, I would recommend just moving them to a location where you can find them easily. I have everything we need here to set up Azahar. The first thing we're going to be doing is installing 7-zip, which I have the exe right here. Simply want to double click yes on the Windows pop-up that shows up. Select an install location. I'm just going to be leaving it on my C drive. Click install, and then 7-zip will be installed. From this point, we're going to be talking about ROM files or games. And I will mention up front, in today's video, I'm not going to be showing you where to download or source your ROM files or game files for this emulator. You will need to find your own. A quick Google search will help you out. But most likely when you download your game files, they will come in a .7-zip or a .rar format, and that is not supported in our emulator, so we will first need to extract them, and that's where 7-zip comes into play. You will know that they will not work directly if the icon has this small little zip icon, or if it says compressed archive folder in your Windows file type. We're going to right click, show more options, hover over 7-zip, and we're simply going to be extracting the files here. Once this is done, you will most likely have a .3ds file or a .cia file. In Azahar, we can play .3ds or .cia files no problem, so either of these file types will work just fine. Once these are extracted, we're going to be heading back out to our Azahar file, and we're going to be installing that next. So I have the .exe application file here. I'm going to be double clicking this. As with a lot of emulator files, Windows might warn you that this might not be safe. We're going to be clicking more info, and we're going to be clicking the run anyway option right here. We then need to click yes on the Windows pop-up that shows up. We will then be prompted to select a language. I'm just going to be leaving it at English. Clicking OK. You then need to agree to the license agreement. You can choose to install for everyone on the computer or just yourself. I'm just going to be leaving it by default. Click next. You can select to create a shortcut or not. I'm going to be leaving that enabled. And then finally you can select an install location. Again, I'm going to be leaving it on my C drive. Click install, and then this can take a couple seconds. Once this is done, we can click finish. I'll be leaving the run Azahar checked, and then my application file will open. Now from this point, this is the UI that we will see. The first thing we're going to be doing is just testing and adding a game, and then we'll be looking at some emulator settings a little bit later, but first we're going to make sure that everything's up and running. To load a game, we're going to be clicking File, Load File. We then need to locate to where our ROM files are, which I have them here, and by default when searching for ROM files, you may notice that nothing shows up if you're using a .3ds file. We don't need to worry in this case. What we need to do is come down here to the bottom right, and we're going to be enabling this to show all files. With this, we will then see our 3DS files that we've extracted a little bit later, just to expand this out. And here, if we click on one of these, the 3DS file specifically, not the 7-zip or RAR file, click open, it should load directly inside. For some reason, there is an issue with Azahar where it does not show .3ds files. It will show .3dsx files and a couple of others, but .3ds files will work in the emulator. However, they do not show up in the file browser for some reason. So as we can see, our game does load here. I'm going to be turning it off now. We're going to be looking at a couple of settings. To stop a game, we simply come to emulation, click stop, and then our game will stop running. So the first thing we're going to be doing is selecting our ROM folder to actually be visible on our Azahar. To do this, we simply double click here in the middle. We locate to where our ROMs are, click select folder, but as mentioned earlier, .3ds files will not load directly, even though we have the correct file formats, so you will still need to manually launch your files, but I still think it is good to select that folder. In case you have some files that are .3dsx, they will show up here on the main UI. From this point, we're going to be coming up to the top, we're going to be clicking on emulation, configure, and we're going to be looking at a couple of options here. The first option we're going to be looking for is the graphics tab here. And here we're going to be looking at the internal native resolution. By default, it will run at the native resolution of the 3DS, but here you can scale it up to a higher resolution. Depending on the screen you're using and depending on the hardware that you have, you can feel free to scale this up. I'm going to be setting mine to 4x, but feel free to experiment with this. If you are noticing some frame rate drops or performance issues, this would be the first thing I'd recommend lowering, but in this case, I'm going to be testing out 4x. The rest of these options you can leave for now. The layout options we'll take a look at a little bit later when we're running a game again. Instead, we're going to be coming to the Advanced tab, and here we want to make sure that if you have a dedicated graphics card that you're set to either OpenGL or Vulkan. If you are having performance issues, switching between OpenGL and Vulkan can give different results, but by default Vulkan is a good option if you have a dedicated graphics card. After this, we're going to be heading down to the Control tab, and here we're going to be able to set up an external controller if you have one. Now, I've tested a couple of controllers here, specifically the Xbox One, the Xbox Series, PS4 and PS5, and they all work pretty much out of the box with this emulator. By default, they will not be mapped. However, you can set up an auto mapping option here. You need to make sure your controller is plugged in. I have an Xbox One controller connected at the moment. Click auto map, click OK, press any button on your controller, and then it will automatically map all of the buttons on your controller. Now, you can still go in here and map each of these manually by clicking one of these options, pressing a button on your controller, and it will then reset that button, or you can change it to another one, and it will then reset that button to the selected one that you want. But here you can experiment if you want to flip the A and the B button, for example. That is totally possible with this. After this, we're then going to be coming over to the hotkeys option, and you want to take a look here at some of the hotkeys. There's a couple that I want you to keep in mind. One is the full screen option here, which is F11. You can click to change this. I'm going to be changing this to the F key here because I find it easier to remember. The exit full screen will still be escape. At least the full screen option will be F, so it matches YouTube and other web players. For me, it's easier to remember. The other two things I want to point out, that if you're playing, for example, turn-based games like Pokemon, you might want to increase and decrease the speed of emulation. This can be done using the plus and minus key. It doesn't work the same as the old DS and Game Boy emulators where you simply hold a button. Here you need to manually increase and decrease the speed, so this can be something good to keep in mind. It is the plus and minus key on your keyboard. The rest you can feel free to change or adjust if you want. From here you can click OK. From this point we're going to be launching a game again. We need to click File, Load File, All Files, and then select the game that you want to load up. I'm going to be loading up Pokemon again as another example. There are a couple of other things you can do here by changing the view and the layout of your emulator. To do this, we're going to be coming up to View on the top left. We're going to be clicking on Screen Layouts, and here we can set up a side-by-side view, for example. We can set up a hybrid screen view where we have the main screen on the left and then both screens on the right. This is my preferred view. From this point, we can enable full screen using the shortcut that we mentioned, and now it will work directly as you would expect. So clicking on this bottom right screen will work as a normal touchpad. So if you are using a touch heavy game, you will need to use your mouse. But if you're using a game that doesn't actually need the touchscreen too much, for example a Pokemon or a turn-based game like this, you can fully use your controller. Another thing to keep in mind is, even though I am running quite powerful hardware, I do still get some slowdowns when running a game, even like Pokemon in this case, when running at this high of a resolution. So you can adjust it. Depending on the game you're playing, this might be more vital or not. So here's where you will need to experiment. This emulator is not perfect yet, it's still in development, it's not 100% foolproof like a PCS X2 for example, but it does work quite well. And it's easy as that to set up and use Azahar on your PC in 2026. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new, check out the other videos on the channel. Until next time guys, as always, keep it saucy, peace.